Hello, hello. I'm Cosmic Jack. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here to chat all things astrology for the week ahead of December 8th. Now, we have so much going on. I can't even wrap my brain around everything that is happening and transpiring this week. So much fate, so much karma, so many cycles are clearing and closing this week. And it's really been such a profound time. This entire year has been one of transformation and shedding and releasing and closing out the past, really. And that is really with Saturn and Neptune teetering back and forth between the end of the zodiac into Aries. Pisces is the end of the zodiac. It is where energy goes to die, to be reborn. And Aries is the beginning. Aries is a new start. Aries is fresh energy. Aries is all about your identity. It is that newborn baby energy that is so wide open and full of potential. And really, that is available to you anytime you just really drop your past. You can't bring your past with you into your future, right? Like something I have been saying over and over and over to myself the past 6 weeks as all of this stuff surfaces to be cleared is like something that a friend of mine told me years ago. And he was always just like, your past doesn't need you, your future does, right? And the thing with that, and really why I work with so much with with the body, is that your body holds record and memory of your past, right? Like your conscious brain doesn't remember it. Like I think I talked about this like recently, even just on a live, talking about how like your brain forgets the birth, but like your body doesn't, right? And it's like kind of the same energy. It's like your body remembers, like your body knows what to do. Your body remembers how to react to this pattern, and it self sabotages, right? And so it's really allowing any emotion that presents when it comes to change and integrating the new to present, to release, and really connecting more with the future version of you rather than the past. And I've been very diligent about creating new experiences the last week. Like every single day I have gone on some sort of adventure, right? I have invited and welcomed in the energy of newness and change. And, part of that too is just, having moved, right? Like everything that you're encountering is new. But like every single day, I'm like, okay, like what's today's adventure? What's today's experience? And like, just really taking initiative to introduce my body to new things and to explore and to really be that kind of adventurer and that seeker. And what's so beautiful is like when you show up in a new way and when you expand your edges and when you stretch yourself, this stuff will always come up. Like it always comes up. And so your job is just continue to connect to in your mind's eye and also your physical body with the future of version of you who has normalized what you want, right? And I was thinking about this on my morning walk this morning because, you know, I was thinking this is going to sound bad, but like just roll with me here. Like I was like talking to someone recently about kind of like our expectations and like who we attract in, and I was like talking about like I've worked in the NFL for so long. I know so many like NFL players and I've interviewed so many of them. And like, I'm like, it's not that I don't see being in the NFL as like an accomplishment. Like, of course I do. Like, I know how hard you had to work to get there. But it's like, I just know so many of them and have met so many of them. And it's almost like normalized for me, right? I'm like meeting NFL players, interacting with NFL players, just professional athletes in general, like having worked around them for my whole career. It's like, it's just normalized, right? And so it's not that like there was a time when like Ken Griffey Jr. was like the coolest human on earth to me, right? But it's like because like I hadn't normalized yet like interacting with athletes all the time, right? Like Ken Griffey Jr. was like my freaking hero. Like I was obsessed with Kobe Bryant when I was little. I was obsessed with Shaq. Like, of course I would be like so like starstruck. Starstruck, like meeting Shaquille O'Neal. But like I remember meeting Ken Griffey Jr. when I was 19 and being like, I was like, you were like my favorite thing ever. And I was like, I kind of got like the starstruckness out of the way like at 19 because I met the person like literally on my first job who I like made me the most starstruck I've ever been, right? And so it set me on this trajectory of like just like normalizing like, these powerful athletes, right? And so it's not that like the accomplishment is like it's not impressive, right? It's just like no, I've just my body is used to like interacting and being around that energy, right? And so it's like the reason I'm sharing this is because it's like normalizing something in your body. When I was a kid, like that was like my dream, right? It was my dream to work in sports. It was my dream to interview athletes. It was my dream to be on a field an NFL game. It was like, my dream to travel the world and cover sports, but then I normalized it. And so now it's like just the standard, right? And so it's like this energy of like becoming the person who has normalized your dreams, right? And you do that by edging your comfort zone, right? Like I had to get so freaking uncomfortable in my career, right? Like I have done the most in my career, right? And I have gone like to so many places and I've done so many things. And for me, like, it's funny too because I've had this experience recently with, like, people who are, like, intimidated of it, right? And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I've done a lot, but, like, I don't hold on to those experiences in the same way I don't hold on to the negative things that I've also been through." Like, I don't believe you can really hold on to either one of them to, like, intentionally create your future, right? It's like when you, like, are swiping on the fucking dating app and the dude is, like, hanging on to the fact that he was, like, a Division 1 athlete in college. It's like, cool, bro. Like, you're 35. Like, get on with your fucking life, right? It's like, I can't also hold on to that identity of like who I was in the past in the good way, in the same way as I can't hold on to the identity of who I was in the past, and like the negative experiences I had, right? And so it's like really just dropping everything. And of course, the skills that I've built and accumulated in the past, I can of course take with me, right? It's like you're not just like dropping every friendship you've ever made or like every good personality trait or every character and value that you've like piece of character and value that you've accumulated. Like, of course, you're bringing those things into it with your future, but I'm not like hanging my like hat on the fact that like I've done these things in my life because now I'm just at a different place in my life. Like I can look back and be like, yeah, I've done a lot and I've experienced a lot, but I'm not like bringing that energy into like my identity of who I am now because it's like the version and the identity of who I am now like isn't getting like some sort of like egoic like hit from it, right? Like I'm not like my value and worth is like who I was in the past. My value and my worth is just inherent. It's like I am who I am, and like bring so much light and levity and value to everything that I touch. And like just because I've gone and done all this stuff in the past, it helped me build my capacity, and so I get to bring my capacity into the future, right? Like I have such an edge of like what people think is probably scary. Like I've like completely normalized that. Like I've traveled the world by myself multiple times over. I've worked with powerful people. And it's like, yeah. And like the thing that I take from that is my capacity, right? Like that is the thing that I take from that. Like, I'm like, thank you for stretching my capacity. Thank you for allowing me to normalize something that once terrified me. Like, that is like the real kind of flex of what you take into the future. It's like, yeah, I take these experiences and like how I had to build my capacity to have normalized that, right? So like now it's like when I get a job, I'm like, yeah, but like that's just like a normal part of like my identity now, right? Because it's like whereas before it was like this like mind-boggling thing. Like I'm like, this is so cool. And don't get me wrong, like I'm so grateful. Um I'm so like blown away by the opportunities and the things that I've done in my career. But it's like the thing that I take with it the most is like how much my energy allows me to be good at what I do and how much I haven't been able to expand my capacity to normalize something different, right? And so when people like look at things that I've done, like I'm just gonna throw the men under the bus and be like, and they're intimidated by the things that I've done, right? It's like, well, but you're getting the version of me who like normalize that. Like it's like you're getting my capacity in the same way that like what I'm looking for in someone else is like their capacity, right? Like how big of a container do you bring, right? Because I had to go through a certain process to normalize that capacity. And so if I immediately see someone else not holding the same capacity, then it's like, well, I know that you haven't stretched and edged yourself as much as I have. And I'm hoping that makes sense in the way that I explain it, because it's really all just capacity, right? And it's like, okay, like, so for me, like when I'm going to on a date, which, whatever, it's like, where is their capacity at? Because I know what I've had to do to transform my capacity and edge my capacity. And any man that is intimidated by that is actually just because they haven't gone through their own process of expanding their capacity and like expanding their value, right? Because it's like, what makes me valuable is so many things that have nothing to do with my past, right? That what makes me valuable has so many things not to do with the mistakes that I made in the past, right? And so it's like this energy of like just dropping like everything, like just dropping who you've been, dropping who you were, and really like who are you without the trauma that you've been through? Who are you without the success and the accolades, right? Like if you weren't allowed to tell everyone what you did in your past, like would you still like how would you approach your life? Like if I couldn't tell anyone that I worked in sports for the rest of my life, like that would be fine. Like I don't, again, because I don't derive like my value from it. Like I'm rich in experience because of my past, but like I'm still just taking the capacity that I and the value that I accumulated through that growth process with me forward. But then if I was to take the good things, right, then it's like then I'm like, I also don't want to take the negative things and the negative experiences that, I accumulated in my past with me either, because I wouldn't want someone to judge me on that either. Right. And so it's like just really like it's kind of just like this the reason I'm saying all this is like you get to take your capacity with you. You get to take like the expanded version of you with you, but like confirmation, but like that's all you're taking, right? And so really your job is to just continue to expand yourself. And so like the part of me even desiring to work in sports was really from the expansion that was going to come from it. And of course it's like the joy and the journey of it, but the whole point of that was the expansion of me in my body and as a person and in my expression through that experience. And so like it doesn't matter that that was my past, because what matters is like that it helped me get to this version of myself who is this expression of myself. And so even too, I can look at like some of like the, the shitty things I've fucking been through as well and be like, yeah, but like they were also just as valuable as the positive things that I went through, because it allowed me to become this version of myself. And I can serve so many fucking people and help so many fucking people because of the contrast that I experienced. So it's like I'm taking the lessons from that and I'm taking the blessings from that, and I get to create an identity from that moving forward. But I'm not taking that identity of either side with me into this future. And so I hope that makes sense, like as I'm describing it, because it's like if we can't hold on to the good, like the egoic accolades, and we can't hold on to the negative egoic things either, right? And so it's like really you just get to you allowed your past to enrich you in some way, because even to like the negative experiences that you've been through, like they stretched you in some way. it wasn't as good of a flavoring, right? Because like, you know, sometimes, you learn more from touching the fucking fire than it is to walking around it, right? And so, yeah, like it's not as, it's not fun to touch a fucking fire, but you fucking became a really good teacher because you touched the fire, right? And so both energies are expansive. You learn from both things, but can you just take, like, it's like excreting, it's like excreting the juice. Like, can you just take the juice and not the pulp, right? Can you leave your ego behind and just take the juice from what you squeezed from your past and take that forward, and really just, drop everything about who you were in your past and like blank slate create your future, because we're really getting back to like our purity of form and who we were before the karma hit. Because I don't know about you, but I've been going through fucking karmic cycles for 14 years and I'm ready to be done of all of the karmic cycles, right? And really what we're doing is we're creating a future. That's really what I believe the 5D future is all about. Is like, it's like a future without karma. And so again, if we're going to drop our karma, we have to drop the good karma and the bad karma and really just take the juice of who we were and the lessons that we learned forward. But we're really just coming back to our purity of form and really opening up our body and opening up our channel for God to express and move through us. And what that looks like is connecting more to the future rather than the past, right? Which is why you can't keep your past alive. Because if I was always going back to the fact that like what I've done in the past, then I also have to bring the negative parts into it. Does that make sense? And when you're always looking back, you're not looking forward, right? And so it's like if you weren't actually ever able to look back, all of your focus would be on the future, right? And so it's like we have to get to this point where like drudging up the past is no longer relevant because the future version of you doesn't have any karma attached to, like, they don't have a past, right? Like there's no past in your future self. They don't have your past. Like they've dropped the baggage, they've dropped the weight of your past. And so if you couldn't tell the story of your past, right? Like I got really lost on TikTok, Everest Talk a few months ago. And they were basically talking about how like climbing Mount Everest is the biggest egoic thing because of how fucking dangerous and expensive it is. And they're like people die. Like they're like, if you climb Everest enough times, like it's not if you're gonna die, it's just like which trip up you're gonna die. And how like these Sherpas who take people up there are like treated so poorly, and like, there's a lot of pressure because of how much money people spend going to the top. And so there was like this TikToker who was just like asking people, it's like, if you were to go climb Mount Everest and you couldn't tell anyone that you did it, would you still do it? And I was like, that's like a really interesting like way to look at like our ego, right? Because it's like, are you doing things for the accolades, or are you doing things because it's who you are? Right. And like there was another TikToker. I mean, TikTok is just like my favorite place to hang out, but like talking to men about like taking women out on dates. And it's like, no, you don't take women out on a nice date to get something from them. You take women out and you treat them well because of the kind of man that you want to be, right? And it's like totally reframing the intention and the way in which we move from, because it's like you're not doing these things to like impress anyone in like this 3D reality. You're doing things because you're an expression of God, right? And that is the 5D switch. So it's like, okay, if I can ever talk about my past, like, would I be fine? Yeah, I'd be fucking fine. Like, I don't want to talk about anything that I've done, right? Like, I want to be focused on my future and everything that I'm creating on for my future, right? Because if we're constantly looking back and bringing things in from our past, it's like we're missing the point. And it's like, can we just make it so much simpler? Like, because we're approaching things from like a newborn baby's perspective, so hopeful, so wide open, so optimistic, no patterns, no programs, no conditioning have been implanted on a newborn yet, right? It's just like solely like they are just the receivers of so much love, so much nurturement, so much attention, so much focus. And so it's like if that was the way in which we approached our life, how much more would we be able to create? Because we're creating from this fresh lens, right? And I say Aries because again, Saturn and Neptune are closing out in Pisces, which is the end, and Aries is the new. So by February, which by the way, I can't even like wrap my brain around the astrology for February. Like we have the eclipse of the fucking world of the century, and Saturn and Neptune are going to be conjunct in February. It's going to be fucking nuts. That is the start of the new reality. And so the next really like 6 to 8 weeks, it's like we're closing out our karma. And there is a part where you just actually have to move energy through your body but like as you do it, just continue to connect to the future version of yourself that doesn't have your karma and doesn't have your past and doesn't have your stories, right? And so the way in which just to get back to like the edging into newness, and the way you do that is just by giving yourself bigger goals and bigger experiences to let all of the past release from you. Because when you go and you approach something new, your past does come up because it means your body is still holding on to it. And so instead of then divulging and going into your past, can you actually just be like, I'm going to let my body process the emotion and connect to my future, right? And not in going into the stories of like what happened when you were 8. It's like, no, I'm just going to trust my body knows how to process this. And then in that moment, connect to the future version of yourself, because that is when the ego comes up and is like, goes into victim mode and goes into control and goes into manipulation and goes into graspy and perfectionism and energy. And so it's like every single day, like, how can you respond and react and be proactive in a different way? And like, I'm talking like very small tasks and also bigger tasks. Like there was something when I was like, this even just this morning where like my ego came up and like didn't want to do something. And I was just like, old energy, fucking post it, right? Like old energy, fucking do it. Like stop judging yourself, stop critiquing yourself, stop being so perfectionistic. Like we don't have those stories anymore, and like just fucking do it. And do you know what happened? I bet you can guess. It was a positive outcome, right? And so it's like we are in full control of this reality, not from a hands-on the grip place, but from a completely hands open place of like, I'm the wielder of my reality and I just trust God to move through me because my energy field is open. And right, because it's like, here's the thing, like if we picture our body as a machine, we set, like, let's just take love, right? Let's take a romantic relationship. A clean frame, a clean energy field, a clean body, right? They take love and they're like, oh my God, love, like love, right? Because they have no history, they have no past, they have no stories around love and romantic relationship, right? And they just like, they see it and they're like, oh my God, this is la 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 la. Whereas the human body, we take love and it gets filtered through our bodies of our past, and then where it's like fear, rejection, abandonment, like self-betrayal, like sabotage, like story, right? And it's like you just took this pure love, and you distorted it with your energy field, right? Because it went through the chambers of your past, which is your body, and your brain interpreted it to be something you should be scared of, when it's really like the most purest form of creation, divine love. There's actually nothing for you to ever be scared about, right? Because it's love. Love is always a blessing, right? But your stories keep you from receiving it. And so that's what this energy is about. It's like, no, we're actually just clearing out these programs so that we can just, when it's in front of us, just meet it with like open arms and with a full big hug, and not distorting it from the programming of our machinery, right? Because a newborn baby doesn't have any distortions around receiving love. it expects it. Like they expect to be received with love, right? And so we're really just closing out like such karmic cycles. And this is totally not where I thought this video was going to go, but we went with it. So I'm going to pull some cards because spirit was insistent that I pull cards, and I didn't even really talk about the astrology. The Emperor came out, right? And here's the thing, right? Like divine masculine energy is so healing. It is the most healing thing on the planet because I call it grandfather energy. Like, if you can just picture like any old sorcerer or any man who's like built a house with his bare hands, and he has like a gray beard, and he's so wise from like a life well lived, and he has all of the abundance and the resources, like, and you just feel so safe and you feel so taken care of at grandfather's house, right? And it's just like, what is there to ever worry about when like when you're with grandpa, right? If you I use the example of grandpa because it's usually less like charged for people, right? Because people can use their brain, like they can imagine that grandfather energy of like, oh, it's like a taking care of, it's like a provider energy. Like what problems can actually exist when there's grand masculine, the divine masculine, right? It's that grandfather energy. It's so healing and it's so profound and it's so powerful. And this is the antidote to Neptune and Pisces is the grounded masculine, because Pisces is meant to be so grounded because it represents having its feet on the ground and looking up to the ethers to have the divine guidance, right? But when you're not grounded, which means you're not in your body, that's when things get so lost and so distorted and you get so confused. And it's like the antidote is the masculine, which come work with me if you need the ground in your masculine, because this is such masculine. Oh, this is such good energy. So with the Emperor, we have the King of Swords. We have the Temperance, so 3D, 5D, masculine and feminine, heaven on earth, with the Justice, with things coming to a balance, and the 10 of Cups. So there is so much balance and support and abundance coming through with these cards. And we're really, again, like anchoring in heaven on earth with this energy. And people have so much fear and so much stories and so much distortion around masculine energy, when it's actually in its purest form is about support, and it is structured to be the channel. And so when you can actually heal that wound with that masculine energy, like all of that wounded feminine, that victim-y, that overly emotional, that trying to control things, trying to manipulate things, getting overly emotional, projection, like all of those shadow sides of Pisces and Neptune, all of that ceases to exist. And so it's really about anchoring in that masculine in such deeper ways and really overcoming your fear of the masculine so that you can actually allow yourself to be supported and like create your abundantly rich future. Because it's really just truly the most healing thing to let yourself be supported. I promise. It's the most healing thing in the world. Maybe that's all that wanted to come through. But yeah, no, the 9 of Pentacles, there's so much abundance on the other side of you anchoring in your masculine and giving yourself that safety. Because when you're grounded and you're safe in your body, you're present. And that's really when you can be the divine wielder of choice and really be connected to your future self. Because when you're grounded and when you're present and you're focused and you're in your divine masculine, you're not like worried. We only go into our past when we're like worried or we're trying to control, right? Or we're like in our ego, which none of that is divine energy. So when we can be grounded and when we can be still and when we can be present, that is when your magnetism turns on. That is when you're so full of life and joy and happiness, because life can only ever be experienced in the present moment. But what we want to do is we want to then be in our bodies and then reach out and take the future and pull the future in. But what so many people do is they're in the present moment, but they're living in their past. And so all they're doing is they're pulling in the past, they're pulling in the past, they're pulling in the past, talking about that fucking narcissist, talking about what happened when they're 10, talking about what happened to them, that last time they went on a date. It's like, yeah, you're ruining your present moment. It's like you're taking your ice cream and you're putting dirt on it, right? It's like, why won't you just like eat your ice cream? Like enjoy your ice cream in the present moment. Why do you have to keep diluting and distorting your ice cream with your dirt? I don't want to eat ice cream with dirt on it. I want like ice cream with like chocolate sauce, right? And sprinkles. That's what happens when you pull from the future. I'm just getting all sorts of fun toppings for my ice cream, right? And so there's this, and it's like, stop going into your fucking past. Like, your past does not need you. There is not one fucking thing. There's not one fucking thing that you need from your past. And if you need it from your past, it's already integrated in you. It's already expanded in your consciousness. It's already embodied. So you don't have to consciously think about it. Right? It's like, stop fucking, it's like literally like it's like consistently like cutting the snake's head off. Like every time my ego like is like, but this happened in the past. I'm like, off with your fucking head. Off with your head. Cutting the snake, the head off with the snake. What's that saying? It's like, absolutely not. I'm not bringing that into my future. Literally, letting go is as easy as this. Like, I'm going to show you. Letting go is as easy as this. Oh, we just dropped the card. It's just your story about how hard it is to let something go that keeps it, it's like Aaron, I think his name is Aaron Doherty or Doty or something like that. He's like, your beliefs about the process affect the process. It's like, how hard do you think it is to let go of your past? It's literally that easy. It's literally this easy. So just like, let it fucking go. Anytime you catch yourself bringing something from your past into your future, cut it off at its head. Because every time you do that, you're taking shit toppings and putting them on your ice cream. And that's how I want you to think about it. So can you pull in the toppings that you want from your future into your now? Because that's how you become a powerful creator. But all starts with becoming present in your body. And that requires grounded masculine energy. So I'm going to leave it there. We didn't really get into the astrology, but that's really that's really the channel that was necessary to really paint the picture of like the energy for the next 6 weeks of closing out and clearing out our past and really connecting it to our future. And like, this is really the new way of manifestation. It's like creating moment by moment by moment. Your past doesn't fucking need you. Your future does. If you want to book a session. Highly recommend. My sessions have been fucking fire lately. I'm also launching one-on-one mentorship for the year ahead, and I'm also launching a special container. Drop a comment below. Let me know how this landed for you. But I'm so excited about the future. I'm so excited about the astrology. So much more magic is to come, and something far richer, juicier, more abundance, more love is waiting for you. You don't need to keep going back into your past. I promise the future is better than anything you could ever imagine. So sending you so much love and have a great week ahead. Bye, guys.